I remember my mum saying in the kitchen, like, oh, Charlize Theron won the Oscar. And I didn't really know Oscars, didn't really know what that meant. But I remember sort of thinking, I'm going to watch that film. And it was the first time I saw a woman not adhering to her aesthetic. She's also so powerful. I love a powerful woman. I don't know her. I've never met her, but I feel like she's very real. My name is Rosy McEwen, and these are my top 5 films for IGV Presents. Number 5 on the list is a film I've seen quite recently last year, is Close, which Lucas Don't made. I cried the whole way through. I think the setting is so perfect, and it represents grief in this sort of beautiful seasonal backdrop, going through summer, autumn, spring, winter, and we come back round to summer again. There's something so cyclical about that that feels incredibly satisfying to me. And also just talking about male tenderness, and I think I just found it so beautifully heartbreaking that these boys couldn't be intimate, and it meant so much more, and it's such a tiny thing that men should still have in their life and still crave, and suddenly it has this layer of meaning something that's completely not. And women have the luxury of being tactile with each other. It doesn't mean anything, and this celebration of male intimacy was something I haven't really seen before, and I really enjoyed that. Number 4 is Hunger by Steve McQueen. It's actually a film I haven't watched that many times because it's so intense and harrowing, but I watched it at a time in my life when I didn't really know much about film. I didn't really know what film was, how it existed. I must have been about 14. I sort of thought films were Disney films. Obviously my life experience had led me to the place to watch more realistic narratives, but Hunger just like hit such a chord in me that I realized like film could be so real, and no one has to say anything. No one has to say anything. It can still be the most powerful thing ever. And Michael Fassbender became one of my first ever favorite actors. And there's this scene where he's getting cream rubbed onto his sores, and it's just shot from behind. You just see it on his back, and you see him flinching. And I just didn't realize such small, intimate things could be so powerful. And it sort of changed my mindset of what film was. So I think for that reason, it will always stay as one of my favorites. Number 3 is Monster with Charlize Theron. Because of Charlize Theron mainly, and because of the time in my life that I watched it. And I remember my mum saying in the kitchen, like, oh, Charlize Theron won the Oscar. And I didn't really know Oscars, didn't really know what that meant, but I remember sort of thinking, I'm going to watch that film. And it was the first time I saw a woman not adhering to her aesthetic and breaking free of her breaking free of the expectation of who she could play, and realizing that women can play whoever they want, and there's so much freedom in being messy and real. And was just the most creative way I'd ever seen a film be made, and a woman breaking free of like social constraints of the way that she looked. And that is so exciting to me. So that performance forever will kind of remind me of one of the reasons why I felt like I wanted to be and could be an actor, because I suddenly realized like you can step outside of every single box that you may be given and still create something amazing and still be so truthful. She's also so powerful. I love a powerful woman. She's so unafraid and just creative, and not feeling like she has to be sort of perfect all the time. I like women who are real, and I don't know her. I've never met her, but I feel like she's very real. Number 2 is Fish Tank by Andrea Arnold. Also Michael Fassbender. I was having a real Michael Fassbender phase when I was about 15. I just think all my films have a real theme. They're all very intimate, and they're all very real and down to earth. And I just think it's such a fine line to capture something that feels so genuine, because I've been on set. I know what it's like. It's so easy to want to push it. And I always I'm always like, how can I make this smaller? How can I make this more naturalistic? Because it doesn't come naturally when you're on set. So when I watch something that feels so effortless, and it's like I could step into that screen and it's like I'm sitting in someone's living room and people are just talking, that's what really excites me. And Fish Tank is like that. And it's the way she directs. Andrea Arnold, she's has this amazing she's always very heavy on the breath. I always feel like the breath is like this constant backdrop, so everything feels very close. And it feels like every breath that someone takes, you're getting more and more tense yourself, and you sort of realize by the end of the film that you've been holding your breath the whole time. And it's also just a snippet of life, but these characters are so fleshed out. And again, I watched it quite early on. I must have been like 15, 16, and I just thought, whoa, is this what film is like? And it just kind of changed the course of what I wanted to do. So for that reason, it will just have to stay in the top. And my favorite film of all time is Blue Valentine, because it's so intimate, with Ryan Gosling and Michelle Williams. It's so intimate and it's so real. And I think it's one of the best on-screen kisses I've ever seen, when they get married. And it's not even over the top, but they get married and then they kiss, and it just lasts for way longer than you expect. And it's just so perfect and beautiful in its simplicity. And that's how I feel about the whole thing. It's such a reflection of real life, and I feel everything that Michelle feels, even though she's sort of barely doing anything. So that is the kind of acting that I really lean into.
Just so we can quickly talk about BAFTA Breakthrough, how does it feel to be nominated for this incredible award, having seen so many people who have won this award go on to such incredible things in the industry?
Oh, I feel it's very pinch me. It's very surreal. It's when you become an actor, you think you're going to be a waitress forever and ever. So every time anything happens to me, I think, really, me? It feels. What's also my favorite thing about it is sometimes this job can be a bit lonely, because you're sort of you go from job to job, and you find a unit on a job, and then you leave, and you sort of have to start again every time. So just to have some consistency and be part of something, and all of us creatives be at the same stage, is very special.
Hey, what's going on? I'm Kevin Hart.
Hi, my name's Eric Stonestreet.
Hi, I'm Margot. I'm Journey.
I'm James McAvoy.
I'm Daniel Radcliffe.
I'm Rebel Wilson.
I'm Jeremy Clarkson.
I'm going to be translating some Scottish tweets for It's Gone Viral.
On It's Gone Viral.
Ooh, on It's Gone Viral.